a seat, sip some wisdom, and stay a while. This is the Prosperity Lounge, where growth gets personal. Step inside, we're breaking chains.
Have you ever felt just that soul-sucking exhaustion of burnout, that deep fatigue where you're completely overwhelmed, maybe depleted, or just, utterly stuck in a job that isn't really serving you anymore?
Yeah, I think a lot of us have been there.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're feeling that right now.
Exactly.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into this really incredible conversation that happened recently on the Prosperity Lounge radio show.
Ah, okay.
It's such a powerful look at one person's journey, really from extreme burnout to building something truly meaningful. Her story is it's proof that your lowest moment can actually become your biggest breakthrough.
That sounds incredible. And yeah, this deep dive is all about Whitney Holliday. She's the founder of Camp Honey Coffee, which is a brand new coffee shop, but also a community hub right there in Knoxville. And her story, as you said, was shared on the Prosperity Lounge, which is hosted by Joey Ruffalo, the best-selling author and financial coach. He's always guiding listeners on smart money moves and building businesses with purpose.
Right. And our mission today really is to pull out the key insights, the sort of surprising takeaways from Whitney's story, which is just so raw and real,
Yeah.
We're going to unpack how her rock bottom basically became a launching pad, how she turned that deep pain into powerful purpose, and maybe, most importantly, what actionable steps you listening can take away to find your own breakthrough.
Okay, let's get into it. So let's start where things looked good. On the surface, Whitney Holliday, she seemed to have it all, right?
Totally.
A corporate gig at Expedia, a role at a nonprofit that won federal grants. I mean, a resume just packed with accomplishments. By all outward signs, she was a success. But what was really going on under the surface? What were those first signs?
Well, you nailed it. Underneath all that, she was just completely burning out and losing herself in the process. Whitney talked about how it started mentally first.
Okay.
But then it actually became physically debilitating. She got to a point where she literally couldn't work a full day in that job without her body having a negative reaction.
Wow.
And that physical inability, it even led to her losing, I think she said 70 pounds. That became the final, undeniable push for change.
It's a powerful reminder, isn't it? How our bodies often scream what our minds try to ignore.
It really is. And that's where her story takes this really dramatic turn. She made this incredibly stark choice. She just walked away from everything she knew, didn't have another job lined up. And then she takes this solo trip to New York City. And remember, this was during COVID times.
Right, when everything was cheap and empty.
Exactly. Cheap hotels, empty city. It became this intense period of self-reflection for her. And she came back with just one single goal burned into her mind. Never work for anyone else again.
What does it take, do you think, to make a decision like that kind of leap?
Oh, man. It takes, maybe a level of desperation, honestly, but also just huge courage. Often people don't make those kinds of radical shifts until they've really hit a true breaking point, like Whitney's physical collapse. But her experience, it offers a really crucial lesson for all of us, I think. Before it gets that bad, how are you reacting to stress? What are your mental signals? Your physical ones.
Good question.
So the actionable step here is really about introspection. Try to recognize those, subtle warning signs of burnout before they become physically overwhelming. Your body and mind, they're always talking to you. Learning to listen is key.
That's so true. And that journey of listening to herself, it then led to this really crucial shift in perspective for her. Whitney realized she'd been living in a reactive space for way too long.
Just responding.
Yeah, just responding to whatever life threw at her.
Yeah.
And that reaction-driven life, well, that's what ultimately fueled the burnout. What's so profound now is her absolute focus on being proactive.
And that proactive mindset, it brought this incredibly powerful realization with it. Whitney, he shared this truth, and it resonates, I think, with so many people who feel trapped. She said, no one's going to save you. You have to save yourself.
Oof.
Is such a contrast to that common, almost paralyzing feeling of being helpless. You're just passively waiting for something outside yourself to fix things. It's a tough pill to swallow, maybe, but it's also incredibly liberating when you embrace it.
It really is. And what's fascinating, right, is that even now, working on Camp Honey Coffee, Whitney says she works like 20 hours a day sometimes.
Crazy hour.
Crazy hours. She's exhausted, yeah. But she says she's not burnt out. And that's such a critical distinction. How do you explain that difference? Working tirelessly but feeling energized by purpose instead of just drained by burnout.
It's really the difference between pouring constantly from an empty cup versus working from a full one.
Okay.
When you're aligned with your purpose, the energy you put out feels, well, it feels regenerative.
Yeah.
Whitney found her purpose. So even though the hours are insane, the work itself actually fills her up because it's meaningful to her.
Right.
It's just a world away from that soul-crushing feeling of working hard for someone else's dream while yours is kind of dying on the vine.
You know, it reminds me, Joey Ruffalo on the Prosperity Lounge actually shared a pretty similar story from his early days working at McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
He talked about feeling a lack of respect from the leadership there and how that really lit a fire under him. It ignited his own drive for ownership, his desire to lead differently. It was that moment when he realized, like Whitney, he needed to take control.
Mm-hmm. It's that catalyst moment.
Exactly. So this really raises an important question for you, the listener. What is your purpose? And how can you start, maybe even in small ways, to take ownership of your situation, to shift from that reactive mindset, always just responding to a proactive one, where you're actively, intentionally shaping your own path?
Which leads us perfectly, actually, to maybe the boldest move in Whitney's entire story.
Oh, absolutely. The birth of Camp Honey Coffee itself, it really is the definition of a leap of faith. Whitney shared this, I think, most striking example of her bravery. She cashed out her entire 401k to start the business and openly admitted she did everything wrong and had, quote, no plan whatsoever. I mean, talk about going all in. And for anyone listening who isn't sure, a 401k, that's your retirement savings, usually built up over years. Cashing it out early means big tax hits, big penalties.
It's a huge financial risk.
Yeah.
And it's such a paradox, isn't it? No traditional business plan, none of that. But her leap of faith somehow, it just worked out.
Yeah.
But what's crucial to understand, I think, is that while it was this massive risk, those previous corporate jobs, the ones that kind of crushed her soul, they provided the foundation for that 401k.
Ah, that's a good point.
Right. They actually
Mhm.
enabled her to take this calculated, maybe unplanned, but still calculated risk. It really highlights how even difficult past experiences can have these unseen benefits down the line.
And what really made that leap possible, what enabled it, was her support system. Her husband, Ryan, he played just this absolutely vital role. He was her biggest supporter. Whitney shared that he actually left his own good job to jump in and help when they ran out of money because of unexpected costs and delays with the shop.
Wow, that's commitment.
Huge commitment. Their whole shared journey, they also went through a challenging adoption process together. It just solidified their trust and their belief in each other. He really was that one person for her.
And that highlights something really important, that emotional toll of making a brave move.
Yeah.
You often have loved ones who are just scared for you.
Yeah, even if they mean well.
Exactly. And Whitney talked about having to overcome that added burden of almost proving them wrong, or at least showing them her vision wasn't crazy. She made such a powerful point. Sometimes all you truly need is that one person who believes in your wild idea. That can make all the difference.
So true.
So as you're listening, think about your own readiness for a leap of faith. Maybe it's big, maybe it's small, but maybe more importantly, who is your one person? That indispensable supporter who gets your crazy ideas even when everyone else is raising eyebrows. Find them. Lean on them.
That's great advice. So her personal breakthrough, this bold financial move, it all paved the way for Camp Honey Coffee, which, as it turns out, is designed to be way more than just a place to grab a coffee, right?
Definitely.
It's really built as a community space. It's designed for inclusion, for having brave conversations. Joey Ruffalo himself mentioned how impressed he was, even in the first weeks, how smoothly things were running.
And what's really unique is Whitney's leadership style. She calls it active leadership. She's not just the owner in an office somewhere. She's literally shoulder to shoulder with her team.
Wow.
Washing dishes, cleaning bathrooms. She even learned how to use the espresso machine from her baristas. She admitted she'd never made a professional cup of coffee before they opened.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that approach, it fosters this environment where creativity can actually thrive, where the staff choose to be there because they feel valued and empowered, not because of some, forced we're all family dynamic that can sometimes feel hollow.
Yeah, I get that. And the name Camp Honey, the origin of that, is just a fantastic story, too. It's a perfect example of turning failure into something positive.
It really is.
Whitney called it a nod to failure from this beekeeping venture she tried that went wrong. Like over 100,000 bees just took off, absconded.
Oh my gosh.
Right. But now that name perfectly fits the shop's vibe, which is like a campground lodge aesthetic. They've got picnic tables. It feels really welcoming. Talk about a pivot, turning a massive apiary failure into your brand identity.
It's incredible. It shows such resilience, such creativity.
Yeah.
And she really built this business around the community. She took advice from another coffee shop owner in Nashville who told her, basically, find your location first, then develop the business around that community.
Smart.
So she chose this underserved area in Knoxville where she actually grew up. She saw a clear need, even just as a mom visiting nearby Lakeshore Park, and realizing there was nowhere convenient to grab a drink or a snack. And her resourcefulness just kept going. She used Facebook Marketplace for a lot of the shop's furniture and decor.
Really?
Yeah, which gives it that charming, unique feel that people apparently love
Right.
and are always tagging on Instagram. She even got a dog biscuit recipe from someone she bought furniture from on Marketplace.
That's amazing. So resourceful. This brings us to another actionable step for you listening. How can you maybe embed that spirit of servant leadership, of community collaboration, that willingness to ask for help into your own work or your passion project? Whitney's example really shows how giving back, being open to learning, and truly connecting with your community can fuel your success.
Absolutely. And now, let's touch on the really profound healing mission that's kind of at the heart of Camp Honey Coffee.
Yeah.
Whitney shared very openly her deeply personal experience with a major mental health crisis,
Yeah.
which she had to navigate largely on her own, especially after she lost her health insurance and her medication when she left that corporate job.
And what's just so incredibly powerful is her vulnerability in sharing this publicly.
Yeah.
It's led to her getting daily messages, she said, of gratitude from people who finally feel seen and understood because she shared her story. As she put it, that vulnerability, even though it's incredibly hard, it makes me keep going. It just shows the power of shared experience, doesn't it? How being open about your struggles creates connection.
It really does. And what's truly inspiring is seeing how Camp Honey Coffee is now becoming more than just a place for coffee. It's evolving into a space that actually provides mental health support. And in doing so, it's even healing Whitney herself as people come through the doors and share their own stories. Her goal is to try and prevent others from going through what she did. She even offers resources to her own staff. And her invitation really sums up this mission beautifully. She said, if anyone's having a bad day, please come to the shop. Let us love on you. Let us make you something to eat and drink and send you back out into the world to try and fight.
That's just incredible. So the actionable step here, perhaps, is to think about how you can help normalize conversations around mental health in your own circles, your workplace, your family. Remember, it's okay to ask for help. And sometimes a supportive place like Camp Honey Coffee can be that vital first step towards healing. Your own openness can create ripples, making it safer for others, too.
Well said. So, looking forward, Whitney has these really exciting dreams for Camp Honey Coffee, even though, true to form, she openly admits she still doesn't have a strict plan.
Huh. I love that. It's that blend of vision and just organic growth, right?
It totally is. It's so refreshing to hear someone be that ambitious, but also trust the process.
So what are some of those dreams, those aspirations for the future?
Well, they're ambitious, but also deeply rooted in that community focus. She wants to expand their tiny kitchen, for starters, to explore more food options. And get this, Whitney herself is an award-winning culinary artist from the Tennessee Valley Fair.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah. And eventually, she dreams of opening a commercial kitchen, not just for them, but to support other emerging bakers and women entrepreneurs who often struggle to find affordable kitchen space.
That's fantastic.
Then there's moving into coffee roasting. That's where Ryan, her husband, his scientific mind comes in. He already makes all their amazing in-house syrups.
Oh, cool.
And they're even thinking about maybe bottling and selling those syrups someday.
That sounds delicious. And their community work is ongoing too, right? It shows they really live these values. They've got that fundraiser coming up.
Yep. July 5th, they're doing a fundraiser for Young Williams Animal Center. The goal is specifically to build a dog-friendly picnic area at the center. It's also a way to celebrate Ryan's son's birthday, tying in their family's love for animals.
That's wonderful.
For everyone listening, there's a special promotion happening right now tied to the show. It's the Prosperity Lounge Mocha.
Ooh, tell me more.
It's a caramel iced mocha, but you can get it hot or cold, with oat milk, without, however you like it. And the best part is, A portion of the proceeds from every single Prosperity Lounge mocha sold will go directly to Young Williams Animal Center for that picnic area.
That's brilliant. A delicious way to support a great local cause and taste Camp Honey.
Exactly.
So maybe the lesson here is take a cue from Whitney. Sometimes you really don't need that rigid 50-page business plan to just start. Identify what, makes your heart happy, as she might say, and take that next small, brave step. The plan can actually develop around the action.
What a journey we've covered in this deep dive today.
Yeah.
We've seen how burnout, it really doesn't have to be the end. It can absolutely be the start of something completely new.
Yeah.
We've learned that a business can genuinely be a healing space, not just about the hustle, and maybe most powerfully, that your support system, that one person, can sometimes matter even more than a detailed business plan.
Absolutely. Bravery, it often feels really uncomfortable in the moment, doesn't it? But as Whitney's story just perfectly illustrates, it can lead you to the life you were truly meant to live. And you don't have to build it all by yourself. Community and courage, they're out there waiting for you.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. If Whitney can transform a major personal crisis, a series of perceived failures, like, runaway bees and no business plan, into this thriving, community-focused healing business, what painful chapter in your life, maybe something you see as a failure right now, could actually be transformed into your most powerful mission?
Wow, that's a powerful question. We absolutely encourage you, if you're in the Knoxville area or visiting, please go visit Whitney and her incredible team at Camp Honey Coffee. You can find them at 5819 Lions View Pike in Knoxville. It's right across from the Lakeshore Park entrance next to the Veterans Cemetery. Their hours are generally 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday, but definitely check Google. She said it's always updated. And give Camp Honey Coffee a follow on Instagram, too.
And for more stories like Whitney's, more tools to help you on your own financial and purpose-driven journey, and just a safe space to learn and grow, make sure you visit theprosperitylounge.com. You can grab their free 8-step action guide to stop living paycheck to paycheck, their student loan survival kit, and get access to their great Prosperity Planner budgeting tool.
And if this deep dive today, if Whitney's story encouraged you or challenged you, please do us a favor. Share it with someone you know who needs to hear it.
Yeah, pass it on. And you can also catch the full, unedited interview with Whitney on the Prosperity Lounge YouTube channel. Until next time, keep diving deep into what truly matters.
This is where momentum meets the sun. The prosperity